is Joy News Prime.
From Tamale to Accra, from Ahafano North to Etiwa, and from Nairobi to Caracas, wherever you are, welcome to the most comprehensive television news package in Ghana. Coming up, the price is not right. The Public Utilities Regulatory Commission accedes to the demands of providers and increases electricity and water tariffs by more than 50%. We bring you all the reactions. Terminated. Judicial Service dismisses 21 magistrates for misconduct. Standing by his man, President Mahama decides on his running mate for the elections in 2016, and it is none other than his vice, Kwesi Emisa Arthur.
Control Tower, we have a problem. That seems to be the call from domestic airlines, which have been forced by bad weather to ground flights, and the flight cancellations could last a bit longer.
And that's coming up in business with Abigail Adumaku entry in about 30 minutes. Now, cultivating trouble. A dispute over a cocoa farm has left several people injured in the Sunafo district of the Brahafo region. We also have business, sports, entertainment, and all your social media comments in this package, which is also available on ABN, on the Sky platform across Europe, and on Freeview Connect. Once again, welcome to Joy News Prime. My name is Israel Live. Work on a human waste treatment plant expected to eventually replace the popular Lavender Hill in Accra is halfway complete. The project, among others, will generate environmentally friendly bioproducts for households. These include biogas and fertilizer. The project is born out of a public-private partnership between agreement between the government and Sewage Systems Ghana Limited. MFA Ewenam Etiamwa Eli has been interacting with engineers on site.
What you see here is actually you have two projects. This part of the project is called the Lavender Hill, and on the other side you have the Mudor plant. The Mudor plant was designed and was built to cater to raw sewage that comes with the pipes infrastructure, existing infrastructure. This part of the project will cater to sewage coming from septic tanks, and so septic trucks will come, and they, instead of dumping the raw sewage in the sea, in the open sea, they will be coming here to dump the sewage in this project here. So we have, this will cater to septic, and the other side will cater to sewage coming from the infrastructure. Capacity of this project is about 2,000 cubic meters per day, which is almost 200 trucks, and the Mudor plant capacity is about 18,000 cubic, and it will cater to Kolebu, to Assembly, to Osu, Cantonment, all the areas that already have infrastructure for sewage. They will lead to this site here.
In this era of energy crisis, unending energy crisis, how does this project intend to survive and operate?
That's a very good question, actually. The project we have here, apart from treating raw sewage, it will generate some byproducts. Byproducts we have are the gas. This project will be able to generate some gas, which will be converted into electricity using special gas turbines. And the project will generate about 0.5 megawatt. It's not much, it's about 650 kVA of electricity. It's not much, but it will cover the needs of the project itself. And if there is anything extra, it will be connected to the grid, ECG grid, which can be sold to ECG. But to be able to support ourselves as a project, that's a very, very good.
So essentially, it is just to convert the fecal matter into gas for the project itself to live on, and to possibly use the leftovers, if I should put it that way, for the public. Is that it?
Yes, exactly. So we have the raw sewage comes, it's treated. There is a gas that is generated out of the process. On the other side, we have water, clean water. It's not drinking water, but it's water that can be used for irrigation or for other industrial uses. And then you have we have the water, the gas, and you have then the solid matter the residue. We have 3 or 4 different scenarios. One of them is to use it for organic fertilizer. After going through a certain process, it will be used for organic fertilizer. Another option is to use it or to convert it into charcoal. And this is something we are experimenting on right now, together with one of our subcontractors. And otherwise, it will be sent to landfills.
21 magistrates from across the country must from tonight start looking for other jobs. This follows their dismissal from the Judicial Service for misconduct. This follows undercover investigations by journalist Barima Osei, which exposed widespread corruption in the judiciary. Officials of the Judicial Council have just ended a news conference in Accra. Felix Akoyam joins us on the phone line with more. Good evening to you, Felix.
Good evening, Israel.
All right, who are these magistrates and what sort of misconduct are they said to have engaged in?
These are 13 magistrates and 8 circuit court judges. In total, there are 21. 20 of them were found to have misconducted themselves. Indeed, the other remaining one was reprimanded, but for the 20, they've all been removed or dismissed by the Judicial Council. Some are going away with benefits, others are also going away with nothing. I can quickly run by you a few of their names. The first person is Anna Benjamin Osei, who is a circuit court judge in Juabin. He's been removed without benefits for stated misbehavior under Article 151 plus 1 of the 1992 Constitution. There's his Anna Sayam Chachu Azuma, who is also a circuit court judge in Akropong. There is her Anna Flores Otu, also a circuit court judge. It goes on, Israel. Zana Isaac B. Akwanti, circuit court judge in Wa, who's also been removed without benefits for stated misbehavior. His Anna Alex Obin Asante, circuit court judge in Takwa. His Anna Emmanuel Kesu, circuit court judge in Bogatanga. His Anna Baptist Kojo Filson, who's also a circuit court judge. Let me mention a few of the magistrates who we have here too. His Worship Samuel Ahiabo is a district court judge in Etidome. He's been removed without benefits for stated misbehavior under Article 151. There's His Worship William Baffo, district court judge, Cape Coast. He's also been removed without benefits. These are we have career magistrates too in charge of district court. The first person who's been dismissed here is His Worship Paul K. Al-Hassan, district court judge in Agona Ashanti region.
All right, now Felix, you go through some of the names and you say that for stated misbehavior. What exactly is this phrase, or what does it mean?
This is based on the petition that was presented to the CJ by Tiger IPI. I mean, Israel, you will recall that analysis investigative piece implicated some of these judges taking bribes on tape, and this is what essentially, I mean, the CJ mentioned.
All right. Does the stated misbehavior explain exactly into detail exactly what they did, if they took bribes in specific amounts?
I mean, the CJ did not go into detail about what they really did, but still the only, I mean, one point they make is that it was just based on the allegations of bribery that was leveled against them by Tiger IPI. That's why they have been removed now, Israel.
Now, in some of the cases, you say that they are going away with benefits. Why? What's the differentiator? Why are some going away with benefits and others not going away with anything at all?
That's an explanation we couldn't get, and I mean, we were not also given the chance to ask questions. But one thing that CJ mentioned was that this decision was unanimous, and indeed, those who have been removed of benefits were remorseful when they appeared before the committee and apologized profusely to the committee and the people of Ghana for bringing the name of the judiciary into disrepute by their conduct, Israel.
Besides the dismissal, should we expect any criminal charges?
That's one thing that's lingering on the minds of many people, but the committee what the CJ mentioned was that they have been removed, some with benefits, others without benefits, but she did not mention whether, these charges will be prosecuted or not.
All right, thank you very much, Felix Akoyam. And Felix Akoyam was just bringing us details about that Judicial Council decision to remove some magistrates and circuit court judges. We'll bring you more on this when Felix joins us or returns to the studio. But in other news, after months traveling around the country, consulting the public and stakeholders, the Public Utilities Regulatory Commission has announced increases in utility tariffs. Effective December 14 this year, which is just a week from now, customers of the Electricity Company of Ghana will have to pay 59.2% more, whilst customers of the Ghana Water Company will also pay 67.2%. This was contained in the statement issued by the PRC in Accra earlier on Monday, and I'm going to bring you excerpts of the statement. I'm going to move to the touch screen, and it reads as such on my Joy Online. It says the Public Utilities Regulatory Commission has increased electricity tariff by 59.2% and water tariff by 67.24% for residential consumers. So the statement says, a statement signed by Nana Ajantua, Director of Public Relations at the PRC, noted, the significant change and increasing dependency on thermal generation has greatly impacted on the cost of electricity generated and supplied by the utility service providers. For water utilities, the adjustment in tariff is driven by chemical cost, in addition to the power purchase cost and operation and maintenance cost for the Ghana Water Company. The PRC admitted that the increments were also necessitated by proposals it received in the middle of 2015 from utility service providers asking for upward adjustment in tariffs. Now, joining us on the via Skype is energy economist with the Electricity Company of Ghana, Ebenezer Bading. Good evening to you, sir.
Good evening, Israel.
All right, so this tariff increase comes at a time when we're having to rely more on relatively expensive thermal sources for electricity, as Akosombo Dam contributes increasingly less to the energy mix. Will this increase be enough to cover the costs?
The tariff proposals we've made has various assumptions. And what we put forward was 0% Akosombo, and then a lot of thermals, heavy fuel oil, some diesel generation, some LCO, and the rest. Now, with the announcement that was made, my understanding is that some blending has been done. So the hydrothermal mix, some assumptions have been made, and it will be important to look at what really the full assumptions are, and then we'll be able to comment on whether it's enough to cover the cost or that we need to know what it entails.
All right, to get you clearly, you're saying essentially that in computing or coming up with the tariff increase you requested, you were considering or assuming that there will be no electricity coming from Akosombo.
Yes, that's right.
All right,
because then was to accumulate the what will be inflows to the reservoir, and then now do proper allocation on it. As it is now, once you overdraft the dam, it becomes difficult to even do meaningful generation with it.
All right. Now, one of the key interventions that the ECG has brought in to resolve the power crisis is the power badge, the car power badge. Can this tariff at least pay for the electricity supplied from the car power badge?
Okay, so even without knowing the details of what PURC had done, I will perceive that it should cover fully the cost of the power badge or what electricity generation from the power badge. At least in that case, you will know that ECG is not incurring any debt and is covering the cost of generation.
So you're saying that if we were to give the entire amount or the entire increase to ECG, it will be able to cover the supply of power from that power badge?
So it has to do with volume. So power badge is 225 megawatts. Now, if you give it about 93% availability, then it has a volume of electricity that it will generate. The as understanding I should have is that it should cover the cost of that electricity that will be generated.
All right. How much are we expecting, or how much is Power charging us for the electricity they are going to supply?
So the numbers, depending on today's fuel price, heavy fuel oil price, is about 13 cents.
13 cents, which will translate into how many pesos?
Let's for simplicity, let's say multiply by
4.
4. So let's say 52 pesos.
52 pesos. And how much is the tariff we're paying right now?
I think we had 59.2%. So we're thinking of somewhere about 60, 65. Thereabout. I'm not too sure.
Has a Power badge started generating any electricity at all?
Not yet. Now they finished the tie-in there, so they are doing some commissioning works. Yeah. So metering will have to be checked. The protection will have to be checked. A number of things will have to be checked. And then it can now start operation.
What options are available to the Electricity Company of Ghana with the current tariff that you're giving, even though you don't know the details yet and the permutations?
Okay, so we made a proposal on the cost of power generation. We listed a number of plans that are earmarked to come on. So the exercise will be to make sure that these costs are in there. Now, for projects which have not been captured in the tariff, we wouldn't take power from these projects. Then the next issue is distribution. Within our own operations, are we able to pay for the cost of power? If not, what are the assumptions PURC has made for us? They should be feasible assumptions. They should be things that should be implemented given an operational year. We need to be able to implement. For example, in times past, they have explained to us that what we have asked for, they think we should start with a number and then now go into the banks and borrow. Sometimes they even suggest the banks for us. So we go in, discuss, and we're able to top up, and then we will operate with it. So we will expect to understand fully what options have been given to us, and then whether they are workable operationally, and then we will make decisions on that.
All right, thank you very much, Ebenezer Bading. Ebenezer Bading is an energy economist with the Electricity Company of Ghana. There's been a number of reactions that have come in to following the announcement. We're having this one coming from the New Patriotic Party, and it says that the title is, "The President Must Halt This Wicked Insensitive Christmas Gift to Ghanaians." Again, I'm going to take you to the touch screen and to my Joy Online, where we have that story. So under the heading, "MPP bears teeth at government over evil hikes in utilities." The New Patriotic Party has described as evil, uncaring, and unacceptable increases in prices of utilities announced Monday. The PRC announced a 59% increase in electricity as well as a 67% increase in water, which are expected to take effect on December 14, 2015. But the NPP says the hikes cannot be justified. In a statement, the NPP said these hikes cannot be inflicted on Ghanaians at a time they are bracing up for the worst Christmas in a generation. And the statement goes on, I'll just skip. It says, "This is sheer wickedness. It is evil, uncaring, reckless, and absolutely unacceptable. It is the highest level of insensitivity ever witnessed by Ghanaians under the Fourth Republic, and certainly just before Christmas, and in a year that Ghanaians have known nothing but untold sufferings and hardships. After the several failed promises to fix doomsor, and astronomical increases in tariffs, including a 52% increase in electricity tariffs barely 5 months ago in July, the NDC government has now slapped another 59.2% and 67.2% hikes on electricity and water tariffs, respectively. Means that for a household that spent about 100 cedis a month on utilities, your bill is now up over 160 Ghana cedis. So the MPP has gone ahead to actually calculate and see how much more you'd have to be paying. The statement goes on, and it concludes by saying that we call on the government to immediately halt the increases in electricity and water bills, review it, and come with a plan that makes sense. We also demand that government immediately stops all the corruption-induced procurement in the energy sector that has only short-term benefits, but places huge long-term costs on an already fragile economy. Ghanaians have suffered enough, it must end. And the statement is signed by Freddie Blay. He's the acting national chairman of the New Patriotic Party. We still have a lot more reactions coming in. We'll be taking a break at this point. When we come back, we'll bring you some more of the reactions. You're watching Joy News Prime, and back on to the reactions that have come as a result of the increases in utility tariffs. The Ghana Water Company Limited is unhappy about the tariff increase approved by the Public Utilities Regulatory Commission. The water company proposed a 124% tariff increase, but the PRC approved half of that. Speaking to Joy News, the head of public relations at the GWCL, Stanley Mate, said the tariff adjustment is not enough.
So I first want to find out from you the proposal you sent to the PRC for the tariff increment.
We sent a proposal in connection with the cost of production, which is 8 cedis per 1,000 liters of water. So we have put in, or we had given them all the parameters involved in the production of water, and everything calculated resulted in 8 cedis per 1,000 liters of water. And 1,000 liters of water is equivalent to 1 cubic meter of water, which is also equivalent to 220 gallons of water. And to the layperson is about 5 drams of water. Okay, and so that is a proposal that we have sent to them. But per our calculation for domestic consumers, we had said that 124% will move us from 1 cedi 78 pesos per 1,000 liters to 4 cedis. Okay, and then for other consumers, there was some other calculations. Now the PRC is saying that they have considered a lot of factors, including investor relations, including the consumer himself, the consumer as a whole, and then they've also considered the foreign exchange rates and all that, and they have come out with 67% increase. We would have wished that we've had a better increase than 67%, but the PLC is our regulator, and per their calculation they think 67% is okay for now. We are unhappy about it, but we still will work with the current approved tariff.
So how would the approval by PRC, you propose over 100% increments, but the PRC approved 67.2%, how would it affect your outputs?
If you look at the chemicals that we use, 100% is imported. So we use foreign exchange, and if you look at the conversion from the Ghana cedi to the forex, you realize that becomes a bit problematic. So it's a bit difficult. And apart from that, our operational expenditure is quite high, especially with energy, where 45 to 50% of our earnings goes into energy. Okay, so all other aspects of our operations, all other parameters in our operations rely on the rest of the 50%, which is nothing to write home about. So it becomes very difficult, very challenging for management to produce water in adequate quantities and to serve the consuming public.
Still with reactions and responses to the tariff hikes, let's hear from the campaigns coordinator at the civil society group ISODEC, Steve Mantia. He says the increases are inevitable, but the timing is wrong.
It comes at a time when many household budgets are already strained by the demand for the fast approaching Yuletide and by school fees that will become due soon after. It also comes at a time when workers' salaries have not been adjusted, and at a time when many businesses have collapsed and unemployment levels have soared. So yes, in terms of impact, I think it will be very much undesirable. Of course, in the particular case of the ECG, there's a certain concern about its solvency, but that the whole discussion should be had within the context of huge sums of money owed to that company by government, which if paid will almost clean the slate for ECG and may not make these high increases necessary. Let me also make the point that we've seen these huge increases before, and it was in response to the public uproar that greeted them that the PURC proposed to institute an automatic tariff adjustment regime. We do not have information that ECG has abandoned the automatic tariff adjustment regime. And so to be slapped with this huge major tariff increase, in addition to the automatic adjustment regime, for me, pushes consumers into a situation of double jeopardy.
Now, out there on the streets, the reactions are interesting. Those who are saying that when it comes to water, the increase in water tariffs, they're quite okay. But when it comes to the electricity tariffs, they're saying that if this is what it will take for the power crisis to end or for Dumso to be abolished or gotten rid of, they're okay with it. Let's hear some of the reactions.
If the Dumso is going off and it will not come again, fine. When they increase it, I don't have any problem. But not where you increase it, then we are having the same problem there. For that, it will be wahala, I'm telling you.
But what about the water? How's your...
Oh, I'm staying at Adraka.
Okay.
Mostly we are having normal water. Yeah, we are having normal water there. We don't have any problem over there, over water there. So the water there, I don't have any problem. But my concern is on electricity. If the Dumso will go there, I don't have any problem. But if not there, Saleh, then Wahala will come to Ghana. For that, I'm telling you.
Well, if it's going to improve the service, all right. However, we've had this on several occasions that they say that we should pay more for better services. We do pay more and the services don't improve. It's my hope that this time it will improve because the continuous increments is making life tough.
The increase is basically, it's kind of affecting because when you talk about increasing what you were budgeting for a month, you might be, okay, tell your parents, like for me a student, I'll be like, okay, Dad, this is how much we are paying. And he's already putting down what I should pay for during the period for the light and for the water. So as this is increasing, it's also affecting me seriously because it's also going to enter my money for other use or either my clothing or for my food. Yeah.
There's no sense in it. The reason is there's still Dumso going on. Buying those prepaid, very expensive within this Dumso, and they'll be increasing all those. There's no sense in it.
But you see, the power badge has arrived, and it has been connected. So I'm sure
connected and working, started working.
Not yet.
Yeah, but why? Even just imagine the money the nation have been spent on this. Badge or whatever. You know, it's very expensive. You know, it's very expensive. Excuse me to say, that's why I said there's no sense in it. It's boring because, excuse me, we the workers of this country, how much is our salary? It's painful. I don't want to talk much, please.
I think we cannot say we will accept, but we will plead with them to make it, I would say, something valuable for us, something that we will accept, okay? Which we can afford. Yes, that's the word, which we can afford.
So varying reactions coming in from the members of the public there. But we have more comments coming in on social media. We'll be reading you some of those comments when we come to the interactive segment on Joy News Interactive. You're watching Joy News Prime. We're taking a break. When we come back, we'll bring you business news with Abigail Adumakwenchi. All right, it's time now for business, and Abigail Adumakwenchi has joined me. Good evening to you, Abigail.
Good evening, Israel.
All right,
good to see you.
Yeah, good to see you too. Actually, I've been away for about a week.
Yeah.
Now, when Harmattan occurs, then people are worried. I mean, ladies like you're worried because you're going to get cracked lips, and, and you have to use more lotion.
And our hair too. I mean, our natural hair, grows very dry, so we like to put on wigs and weaves.
Okay, but apparently, well, more than just the inconvenience of having cracked lips and all, people are concerned that I mean the airlines, the
domestic
Harmattan is actually
especially
hitting them because most of them are grounding. Virtually all of them.
All of them actually.
Flights.
Yeah, and I'm a victim. It wasn't funny at all yesterday. I went to Kumasi and I had to return quickly and on time for a meeting in Accra, and I went to the airport and no show. I was so
You see the way you put it? You said you're a victim. You've gotten used to flying to Kumasi, but before flights, we were going by road.
Well, yeah.
Carry on with the business.
Israel. All right, so the cancellation of domestic flights due to the current bad weather conditions might last a while longer. Joy Business is learning that the current situation could improve by next week, Sunday, December 13, a little later than the December 9 date given.
The current poor weather conditions have compelled domestic carriers to suspend flights since last Tuesday. The situation is likely to affect the revenue of most of these airlines, with some analysts already projecting losses running into millions of Ghana cedis. Officer in charge of the Ghana Meteorological Department, Joe Tete Potifi, has described the current weather condition as alarming. He is, however, hopeful the situation may improve on Sunday, December 30.
It's as bad as visibilities are becoming very, very poor, and this is the first outburst. We might have second outburst and third outburst before we get out of the wood. And if the first outburst should be as severe as this, then we must brace ourselves. It's severe in the sense that this one is very prolonged. Normally, when we have visibility below 700, it takes just 2-3 days and then everything is cleared. But currently, we are having a blocking high sitting over North Africa, and that is also prolonging the severity of the Harmattan on us. Let's give ourselves around 13th, from 13th going.
The situation is said to have been worsened by the unavailability of installed instrument landing system to aid visibility at the various regional airports. According to the Director General of the Ghana Civil Aviation Authority, his outfit is working around the clock to resolve the situation.
We have what we call instrument landing systems. It has two components. You have the glide slope, which helps the aircraft descend horizontally at 3 degrees. Then you have the localizer, which helps the aircraft align itself to the center of the runway. And even with the ILS, depending on the category you have, you still have to have a minimum distance, because if we could install, let's say, a Cat 2 or Cat 3 ILS at Tamale, which is very, very expensive, it could reduce the minima, that's the distance to, below the 700 we are currently talking about. We are currently, that's the civil aviation, working on the installation of an ILS at Tamale.
So just as I was disappointed yesterday, other passengers are equally disappointed over the situation.
We are currently here at the domestic terminal of the Kotoka International Airport, where passengers travel from Accra to Kumasi, Accra to Sunyani, Accra to Tamale. When you enter there, where cameras are not allowed in, You have the check-in personnel sitting down doing virtually nothing. This place is usually packed with passengers traveling across these areas I just mentioned, but nothing is happening here, and this has been ongoing since last week Tuesday because of the weather condition. In a bit, we'll be speaking with some passengers to see how they're coping with the situation.
I'm here to take a flight from Accra to Tamale.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what's happening?
Basically, due to bad weather, I'm told that my flight has been rescheduled, and I had to reschedule about 3 times now. Preferably, we have loved to fly, but then again, I'm just waiting to see what happens. I would have liked that when we come in, we'll get to know some of these details ahead of time, which would help us kind of chart our courses. But so far, I'm stuck in Accra doing nothing, you know, and it's not right.
How many days have you been here, or how long have you been here?
I've been here since Tuesday.
Naturally, I'm going to Kumasi.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how long have you been here?
More than 1 or 2 hours now.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what's happening?
And there was a problem between I thought maybe they were saying the weather, or no, I don't know, understand what they are saying. So we have a difficulty for the weather problem here. So we can't be able to fly.
Okay, so what would you be doing now?
Now I'll be going back. There's nothing I can do. So to postpone the trips for another day, maybe by tomorrow.
Taxi drivers who ply the airport route are also indirectly affected.
Seriously, but we have nothing to do from time to time.
All right, so how has it affected you? How much sales do you make in a day, and how has this affected you now?
Well, the sales varies from each and individual. Our car owners are different.
Average.
On the average, maybe you have about 60 or 70 cities or 80 cities, but now we only had some few passengers at the international, if we are lucky. But there's a strange as if it's too much here because of the weather, no business. Business is coming down because no local flights. Because of that, so as we are there, we just pick it one. We didn't get any money now. That way, we have been getting small, but now with the business come down, a day we get about maybe it can take about 60, 70 cities in the house.
But first, now how much?
Maybe first you can get some almost one something, 120 maximum. If you can wake up to the late hour, you can get about 150, 160. But now the business is coming is down. Since about, I think last week, since Wednesday or Tuesday, the business is collapsing, especially local side.
It's now time to look at what's happening on the stock commodity markets, and John is here to share with us and updates on these markets. Looks like on the stock market, I'm seeing some green, some gainers, some losers as well.
Exactly. That's the nature of the market. Basically, you win some, you lose some. Some are gaining, some are losing. But I think today, being the first day of the week, the market really opened on a very brighter note by seeing almost about 4 equities trading positively on the market today. We're looking at CAL, ETI, which is EcoBank Transnational, Aluex, GCB, and Total, all trading today. Actually, liquidity on the market today was very high. We saw a very high as compared to almost very good
last
signal.
Week was quite low.
Last week was exactly it's non-existent. It wasn't existent at all. A market of about 64 million. You only see about 22,000 trading at worth almost about 210,000. It's quite abysmal. But then today we're seeing liquidity very high with all these. But the only difference is that shareholders of EcoBank Transnational actually lost 3 pesos to close around 0.29 pesos per share. That is the only. Otherwise, all the rest, CAL, Aluex, GCB, and Total, all actually added to the value of the investors. So that's actually what the market had to actually offer. There's something actually going on the market. You can see crude gaining. It gained just about when I'm actually coming to studio. But throughout the period, it's been losing. Okay, there's this announcement to the effect that Saudi Arabia did not agree to cut down on the volume of production, and that's actually causing the market to react this way. So we should be seeing crude oil price actually further drop going forward. As I come just about 5 minutes before I actually came in here. That's how come I came a bit late. before coming here, we saw the market actually fluctuate heavily. There's a lot of activity going on there. A lot of futures are being cancelled, and therefore pushing a lot more supply on the market than demand. We do know for a fact that China, as a matter of fact, is also reducing their consumption of some of these commodities, so causing some of these things. And then on the currency market, naturally, apart from that, the Chinese yuan, we are not seeing a lot more activity because the Chinese economy, or the Chinese economists also projected some figures of the Chinese reserves going down. And naturally, once that happens, you would expect to see the value of their currency go down. Right. But for that, we saw the CD lose somehow to the dollar. It lost to the pound and then the euro.
But there's been some stability.
There's been some stability over the period. But the point is, as we get into the Yuletide, the Christmas season, what really is the future of the Ghana cedi? That's what we are yet to tell. Because
especially we just with the imports, right?
A lot of them are already imported. So we're yet to see the pressure mount on the Ghana cedi. As to whether our reserves can contain that, we are yet to see. So Abigail, that has been the market.
All right, thank you. Thank you so much, John, with those analysis there. And before we go, there's a lot of talk on the tariff increment, and the Ghana Chamber of Commerce and Industry has described the increase in the utility tariffs as insensitive to the plight of businesses. Well, the Public Utilities Regulatory Commission has just released a new tariff increment, which takes effect from next Monday, December 14. Electricity tariffs have gone up by almost 60%, whilst water tariffs have been increased by about 67%. And the president of the chamber, Seth Ejeba, explains to Joy Business the timing for the increases is most unfortunate.
Welcome to Joy News Prime, and now to the rest of our stories. President John Mahama is taking with Vice President Kwesi Arthur as his running mate for the 2016 presidential elections. In doing so, the president brushed aside calls from various quarters within the governing party for him to select a different person. Kwache Afre-Nuama has more on a meeting of the National Executive Committee of the NDC where the president made his choice known.
The decision follows a crucial meeting by the National Executive Committee of the NDC. Present at Monday's deliberations were top officials of the party, including Party Chairman Kofi Potofi, General Secretary Johnson Esiedun-Ketia, and Majority Leader Alban Gbagben. After the meeting, President John Mahama explained to the media why he decided to stick with his Vice President Kwesi Arthur despite intense lobbying within the governing party.
I've just come out of a meeting in which I held consultations with the party's Council of Elders, and then immediately after held discussions with the National Executive Committee of the party. And the purpose for the meeting this morning was to decide on the issue of the running mate for the 2016 elections. I consulted with the Council of State, and I nominated Kwesi Arthur, my Vice President, as my running mate. Reason being, he's able and willing to perform the job. And secondly, he's got a good track record. He's been Deputy Minister, he's been Governor of the Central Bank, he's been my Vice President, indeed he's been Acting President on occasions when I've been out of the country. And I believe that it's been a useful partnership. We went into 2012 together, and I believe that going into 2016 together we will achieve victory.
President John Mahama certainly has the backing of the full party machinery. Deputy General Secretary Kweku Anyidoho says the party will now concentrate on winning the 2016 election.
Now our running mate is ready, so we are set with the ticket, and it's the ticket that won it for us 2012. We're hoping that that same ticket can do same for us come 2016, so that we can continue with the transformational agenda, the Better Ghana agenda, and give back to Ghanaians what we think that they deserve. So we're happy, we thank God. And so all other things, let's say, are history.
The debate over whether or not this was the right decision will continue, but the outcome of the 2016 election will tell. For Joy News, my name is Kwache Afre-Nuama.
All right, joining me in the studio now is Evans Mensah. He's head of our political desk here at Joy News. Good evening to you, Evans.
Good evening, Israel.
Yeah, is the choice of Mr. Arthur surprising?
Absolutely not. I mean, I think, bottom line, you don't change a winning team. I mean, look at the circumstances under which John Mahama won the elections last 4 years. Remember that former president, late President Mills, had died in July. They had essentially August, September, October to campaign, and November, 3 months essentially. And he chose Mr. Arthur in that heat of, all that back and forth. And yet they won elections. And so 3 years down the line, 4 years down the line, you don't have to change that. I think it would have been very surprising, shocking, in fact, if he had changed it.
You're saying that you don't change a winning team, but how much of it, or how much did Mr. Arthur bring to this win?
Very little. I mean, at the time that he was chosen, I mean, he was a political unknown. Although for those who understand and followed Ghanaian politics since the 80s and 70s, they knew him as a staunch supporter of the PNDC. In fact, he was one time a very senior figure in the Rawlings regime then. And so he knew something about politics. But in terms of converting that into political capital, it was nil.
So why then wouldn't the NDC have gone in for somebody who could have added or brought on board a lot more votes than Mr.
A huge factor to consider. Remember, the time that he was chosen, we just lost a president who comes from the central region. Okay. And we had then a vice president who had now become a president who comes from the north. Remember that in Ghanaian politics, those considerations are still very important. And so, and you wanted to play on the sympathy, okay? So if you get somebody who also comes from the central region, you're playing on that already, okay? So it was good then, politically prudent, for them to select him that time. Now in 2016, going to elections, he's maintained him, obviously because fundamentally, they work together closely. You don't want friction. You don't want friction between the president and the vice, and they've not had that.
Evans, how about this? One of the names that came up as a possible running mate to President John Mahama was Hannah Tete.
Yeah.
Hannah Tete comes from the central region. If you put Hannah Tete or you pair Hannah Tete and John Mahama coming from the central region, having the ability to win over the female votes.
Well, pay attention to the point about friction. One of the key criticisms against Hannah Tete is that she's difficult to work with. Even within the NDC, there are people who simply don't want to entertain her. Okay, so you will divide and split opinion. Okay, you don't want that going to an election. And Mr. Arthur will not split opinion because it's not controversial. When was the last time you heard anything controversial about Mr. Arthur? I don't remember, because there's absolutely none, and it's a safe choice.
We haven't heard anything controversial about the vice president, Mr. Arthur, but in the grand scheme of things, what's the word on his performance?
Well, for a man who came from the central bank as a governor, at the time when we were having economic crisis, you would think, as a vice president, he will contribute to transforming things and changing our economic circumstance. That hasn't happened. So that's a clear failure on this part, because as a vice president, you're given responsibility to work as part of the economic management team. We haven't seen, in fact, it's gotten worse. If you look just by GDP, it's gone down since 2010 when we were somewhere around the growth rate. You're talking about 14% around the time when Mills was in power.
And now we're looking at 4%.
Exactly. So even just by that, we're talking about failure. Okay, and he will take a significant part of the blame. President Mahama is not an economist. He's not done Bank of Ghana work before. He's a politician, pure and simple and communicator. So as far as that is concerned, he'll take a huge part of the blame.
Now, there are all those who were lobbying and trying to put their own man there or woman there as running mates. How the president appeased these people?
I really think the lobbying was a creation of the media, honestly. I really didn't think that somebody seriously in the NDC was considering somebody else apart from Mr. Arthur. I honestly, sincerely didn't think so. I mean, what happens, and you know this, what happens when names or there's a possibility of choosing a running mate, people try to just, I have done this job for 12 years. I've had a time when people called me and said, put my name out there because the person, in this case was a she, very popular, very important figure then in the Kufu administration, called me and said, I want my name as one of the people who the president is considering. Although he's serious, nobody's considering her. But she feels he put her name out there. Maybe the president's IMA. So I seriously didn't think that anybody was going to, any other name apart from Ms. Arthur was on the table. But key thing we were going for Israel. If you look at his charisma, his ability to grab and hold your attention, Ms. Arthur hasn't developed seriously since 2012. I still listen to him speak. And today he spoke after the president chose him. He still didn't captivate me. It didn't move me. He lacks that charisma. And you want to compare him to a very similar person in Dr. Barima. Dr. Barima has grown in terms of the charisma, ability to speak. His oratory skills has tremendously improved. His ability to do the politics and speak and attack and go on the attack and offensive has improved. We had him do the press conference the last time, and he's now front and center. Where is the flag bearer of the MPP? He's doing that. He's taking the flag. He's willing to do that. Well, can Mr. Arthur go into the election year 26, which is going to be very dirty and brutal? Can he survive that? Can he mount a stage politically, a rally, and grab and hold your attention? I bet he can't. And I guess that's his biggest minus.
Thank you very much, Evans Manson. Beautiful insights. When it comes to politics there. Evans Mensah is head of our political desk here at Joy News. You're watching Joy News Prime. We're taking a break. We'll have more news. Don't go away. All right, so what's coming up on Joy News Interactive? Ifwa Harrison is here to tell us.
Hello, good evening, Israel.
Good evening, Ifwa.
It's good to have you back.
Yes, good to see you too.
Yeah. Well, let me tell you what's coming up.
All right.
We all know by now that utility tariffs are to be increased yet again in a week's time. So how do those of you out there feel about it?
My concern is on electricity. If the Dunso will go there, I don't have any problem. But if not there, Saleh, then Wahala will come to Ghana. For that, I'm telling you, it's a fact.
There's no sense in it. The reason is there's still Dunso going on. Buying, there's a prepaid, very expensive within this Dunso, and they'll be increasing all those. Well, sure, there's no sense in it.
That's not the only blow this season. Speaking of seasons, it's time to stack up on the shea butter.
Waiting to boil some water to bath can make you late. So well in that aspect. And then right now, my lips are dry. They might start cracking any moment.
And we'll also be talking about the Ghanaian duo in London who have gotten a lot of support because of the power of social media. It's all coming up within the hour with me, Ifwa Harrison. Join me on Facebook, WhatsApp, and Twitter in a bit, Israel.
Thank you very much, Ifwa. So we have all that coming up in the second now. We also have sports, and then we have entertainment. And in entertainment, the news is that we have our first Grammy nomination. It's in the person of Rocky Darwin. We'll be telling you all about it on entertainment, which comes up in about 10 minutes. Stay tuned. You're watching Joy News Prime Time now for a recap of our top stories, and the very biggest story of this hour of this bulletin is the fact that the Public Utilities Regulatory Commission has announced increases in utility tariffs effective December 14 this year, which is just a week from now. Customers of the Electricity Company of Ghana will have to pay 59.2% more, whilst customers of the Ghana Water Company will pay 67.2% more. And there have been various responses to the hikes, with the opposition MPP, for example, describing them as evil and insensitive. Now, the Judicial Service has dismissed 21 magistrates and technical judges for misconduct. President Mahama has decided on his running mate for the elections in 2016 and is none other than his vice, Kwesi Arthur. In business, domestic airlines have been forced by bad weather to ground flights, and the flight cancellations could last a bit longer. On to the rest of our stories. And 20 magistrates from across the country must from tonight start looking for other jobs. This follows their dismissal from the Judicial Service for misconduct. The dismissals are in connection with the undercover investigations by journalist Anas Aremi Anas, which exposed widespread corruption in the judiciary. Justice Alex Upokwe Champong is the Judicial Secretary.
The Council unanimously decided to remove from office 20 out of the 21 judges and magistrates cited in the petition. Some were removed from office without benefits, and others with benefits. Those removed with benefits were remorseful when they appeared before the committee and apologized profusely to the people of Ghana and the judiciary for bringing the name of the institution into disrepute. I must state that we have communicated this decision to almost all the judges or magistrates, all their lawyers. There are 3 of them we could not reach, and we could not reach their lawyers also, so we would not specifically mention their names. These are the resolutions. His Honor Benjamin Y. Osei, Circuit Court Judge, Dwabin. Removal without benefits for stated misbehavior under Article 151(1) of the 1992 Constitution. His Honor Seram Chachu Azuma, Circuit Court Judge, Ekropon. Removal with benefits for stated misbehavior under Article 151(1) of the 1992 Constitution. Her Honor Florence Otu Naipens, Circuit Court Judge, Tema. Removal without benefits for stated misbehavior under Article 151(1) of the 1992 Constitution. His Honor Isaac B. Akwanti, Circuit Court Judge, Wa. Removal without benefits for stated misbehavior under Article 151(1) of the 1992 Constitution. His Honor Alex Obin Asante, Circuit Court Judge, Takwa. Removal without benefits for stated misbehavior under Article 151(1) of the 1992 Constitution. This is the list of Circuit Court judges. We now move on to the list of magistrates. For professional magistrates, we have His Worship Samuel Ahiabo, District Court, Adidome. Removal without benefits for stated misbehavior under Article 151(1) of the 1992 Constitution. His Worship William Bafo, District Court, Cape Coast. Removal without benefits for stated misbehavior under Article 1511 of the 1992 Constitution. We now move on to the list of the career magistrates. His Worship Paul K. Alasan, District Court, Aguna Asante. Removal with benefits for stated misbehavior under Article 1511 of the 1992 Constitution. His Worship Albert Zuga, District Court, Ashaman. Removal with benefits for stated misbehavior under Article 1511 of the 1992 Constitution.
Now, several people have been injured in violent clashes in Fawunyeding in the Sunafo North District in the Branhafo region. The clashes are reported to have been sparked by a dispute over a cocoa farm. Correspondent Anas Sabi joins us on the line with more. Good evening to you, Anas. We can get the very latest. Exactly how many people have been affected by these clashes, Anas? Hello, Anas Sabit, if you can hear me, exactly how many people have been affected by these clashes?
Yeah, about 3 people were affected or have been affected so far. One receiving some gunshots on his right leg and then his arm, and then the other 2 having some cutlass, cuts on their arm.
Why is there a dispute over a cocoa farm?
Well, it's a long-standing family issue between one woman and then her brother. It's been long. The case or the issue was, decided at the Supreme Court earlier this year, somewhere in April. But the decision by the court did not go down well with the other side, and as a result of that, they want to take the law into their own hands and then make sure that they do get past the cocoa farm, which they believe belongs to them and not the woman in question. I was told by the woman that earlier this year they intervened and then did create some confusion when he harvested some cocoa and then was on his way to the market. He made a report to the police and got so that nothing was done about it. She had to also move the case to Tsunami, that is the regional police headquarters, for them to hear her case. So the woman in question believes the people are conniving with the police in Goso, which is the Asumafo North district, to try to
All right, we appear to have lost an answer beat there, but thank you very much for giving us those details. We're taking a break. When we come back, we'll bring you entertainment.
Entertainment news is brought to you by...
For entertainment, the Miss G is here. Good evening to you.
Hello, Israel. You have been missing in action.
I was away for just a week, but I'm back.
I missed you that much, you know. It was like you've been away for like years.
You did?
Oh, I did.
You should have come to look for me.
Well, I wasn't invited.
Anyway, I'm so happy today, and it's all because of the things that are happening to GH.
Okay.
When it comes in the world of entertainment, so we had Reggie Mboli, and
through to the
basking in the
finals.
glory of Reggie Mboli, going all the way to the finals of the X Factor, and then now we have a Grammy nomination in the person of
first Grammy
Rocky
nomination ever.
Wow,
for GH.
That's a big one. Tell me more about it.
Okay, so Rocky Dawuni has been nominated for 2016's Grammy, and well, I'll tell you more about it in this package.
So it's great. It's great. I mean, I'm really excited that this is happening to us. I mean, we've been waiting for this for like how long?
For so long, you know,
like
for
forever.
so long, yeah. Yeah. And so, like you said earlier, Reggie and Mboli are through to the finals. They didn't have a very fantastic performance over the weekend. You know, Simon criticized them for the first performance. He said that it was the worst he's seen them do. And these guys just went back and came back with a banger. It worked for them.
Yeah.
Let's see their performance. All right, so
I think the most important thing is that they've made it to the
finals. Through to the finals, and people have been asking, would they win, would they not win? I said, oh, I can't be bothered. All I am excited about is that these guys have made us proud, you know.
They have.
They are through to the finals.
Let's give them all the support that we can.
True,
and so, yes,
true.
we're using the platform here. I mean, I'm told that all you need to do is just get the X Factor app, and you can vote for them that way. Even though you're not there in the UK, you can still vote for them. So let's do that. And for those of you who are watching on ABN television, kindly vote for them. You can call, you can send the text.
The text, yeah.
Let's get them through, man. Let's get them,
and let Ghana win, you know.
And let Ghana win. Exactly. We need something like this. In these times of doom, so we need some good news like this to come through for us.
Anyway, so Joy 99.7 FM was at the ANC Mall over the weekend. They took a lot of joy to the mall. I was there on Sunday.
I knew you.
I
heard you on radio.
Oh, you did?
Giving away some prizes and stuff.
Yes, exactly. So we bring you excerpts from the ANC Mall.
The superstation Joy 99.7 FM's Joy at the Mall Fun Time made a stop over at the ANC Shopping Arcade to bring the listeners closer to their favorite presenters and newscasters. And what a time it was with the show slated for Saturday beaming live from the ANC Mall. High Grade Family CEO Samini passed through on Saturday to give their patrons a dose of what he's made of. And if you ever thought Evans Mensah was just a newscaster, think twice. Dude could have been a rapper. Watch his performance at the Joy at the Mall festivities. Well, the fans also had their moments as they were made to perform songs from various artists.
I'm in a true girl, yeah. Oh, na na na. Oh. Na 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 na. I'm in a true girl, yeah. Na na na. I'm a natural girl, yeah. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. I'm a natural girl, yeah. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. A party like come. You break your heart to a dog gum. Me, I like gum. So I will keep on so I spike up. Shay, Papa did like up. You and I, well like diamonds in the sky. You're a superstar, I see. A vision on next we see.
You're driving me crazy. Nkofokeka, same nyami ya myself. I think put it almost in myself. Make a sense of Enunti. Patroni no.
No, that's an Irene song. Irene and Asare.
Yeah.
Bansa. Bansa o. Ajiya wansa.
If you missed all of this, well, you've just been served. But next time, get to see things for yourself.
There
was one guy who was standing in the middle. He was wearing what, a political suit. He wasn't moving at all.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but I also spotted. Okay, here it is.
Oh, but he, well, yeah.
Okay, now he's moving a bit, but earlier when I saw him, he was just standing there. And I spotted you too. You were doing some boogieing.
Really?
Yeah, you were shaking you were shaking what Mama gave you.
So after all, I'm not like you.
Well, I can shake too.
Oh, what would you shake?
If he has to do a shaking, I mean, I could shake too.
Yeah.
What else is on the
Okay, so Daddy Opanka, he's been around, he's been off the scenes, and we've been wondering, you keep coming.
All right, so when you have stuff like this happening to people like Opanka, I mean, these days I'm not worried because he could show up somewhere in Azerbaijan on another show, another X Factor.
Another X Factor or W Factor.
Azerbaijan's Got Talent.
You see?
We will start celebrating him.
You see, you wow the audience well. Now, Adum FM's OPD finds a wife, or he got a wife over the weekend. Right. I was there. It was a star-studded event. Of course, all his colleagues from Adum FM were there. We had the Galaxy Boys come over. Gift Yosei was there. And then some other personalities were also there at the reception at the World Trade Center.
Must have been fun.
It was really fun.
Just on the 5th of December 2015 at the Fruit of Christ Church in Kwashiman in Accra. The reception followed suit at the World Trade Center and was graced by Gifty Osei, Sherifa Gunu, Galaxy, Efua Schwarzenegger, CEO of Joy Daddy, Baba Spirit, and media colleagues. Here are some sights from the wedding.
All right, so tell us more about OPD. What does he do on Adom FM?
Okay, so OPD is a co-host of Vintage Made in Ghana Music on Hits 103.9 FM and also joins Papa Bills on the show as a co-host for Efiadam Boso on Adom 106.3 FM. So that's
right. To have all these personalities coming to his wedding, he must be a very well-known figure.
Very, very well-known. He goes, people know him for the slogan, I. But there was one guy who stole the show at the ANC Mall. Let's see, I leave you with visuals from the ANC Mall. That's Security Man.
Entertainment news.
Right, it's time for sports, and Gary Al Smith is here. Good evening to you, Gary.
Good evening, Israel.
So, is the league never going to start?
Which league? The Ghana Premier League.
The Ghana Premier League.
Yes, that's the big question that everybody is asking. I mean, it's embarrassing, isn't it? I mean, because we even know when the next English Premier League season will start, even though this one is not ended. So,
what are the issues? Does it have to do with funding?
It's just plain planning. I mean, just Ghana stuff, you know what I mean? Ghana problems.
Who's supposed to be doing that planning? GFA or
GFA, Premier League board, stakeholders, they have to sort some legal issues. You know how it is.
Anyway, you take it away.
I will take it away. Thank you very much, Israel. And taking a cue from him, when is the Ghana Premier League's new season beginning? The Ghana Football Association have told us that tentatively it's supposed to be on the 20th of December. We've also heard other dates such as the 10th of January, and some people have said it will start later in January. But no matter, football administrators are complaining about the delay in the start in the league because it leaves them in limbo about what to do, especially with preparations of their teams.
We are 100% affected because the clubs are worried. Personally, we are worried because there was a communication that it will start on 20th, so we prepare for that. But as you and me know, it's not possible because we have other clubs who are chasing their points, who are in the review. Some are going to cast and others too are waiting for the outcome of their case with the FA. So we're just waiting. Though it's worried, but.
It's a hell. Yeah, bluntly speaking, it's a hell. You see, I brought this team here to Accra for the pre-season campaign. We've been here over a month. We thought that the league was going to start on the 20th of December, but from what we are hearing, there is no date fixed. Even the tentative date, I don't know how tentative it is. Yes. It's moved from the 20th of December to the 10th of January, and I even have my doubts whether it will come on the 10th of January. Looking at a lot of issues that we have to grapple with within this period of time in terms of litigation, club qualification, a whole lot of issues.
So that's affecting
It's financially draining our pockets. It's financially hell to just train. You feed the boys 3 times a day, you train, and you don't know when you are going to start the league. Actually, it's a blow. It's a blow to Ghana football. I wish that we could have a way to resolve these issues earlier than the 10th of January that they are talking about.
A lot of complaints from the club administrators. However, some say that despite all this talk of complaints, they are speaking internally and trying to sort it out without coming out into the public to complain. That person is Delali Senaya, the boss of Inter Allies Football Club. He says that Premier League clubs are putting up internal pressure on the Premier League board to come clear on the start of the league.
A lot of pressure, but not in the media, because all the clubs are represented on the Premier League board. All the 16 clubs, and they are the decision makers. They are aware of the challenges that the league is facing. So most of the clubs are putting a lot of pressure internally, but just that they are not doing it on radio. Because we realize that we need to add value to our league. Every time we go out and criticize our own league in the media, it is the media that also said, hey guys, you guys are getting out of line. Some of this issue, resolve it internally. And so based on your advice, clubs are putting pressure within the system. Tomorrow there will be a PLB meeting, and I'm sure this is one of the agendas of the day.
So if the Ghana Premier League is not sure about when it's starting, of course we do know that the Barclays Premier League and the UEFA Champions League are set. In the Champions League, it's going to be another week of action. Manchester City will be looking at targeting top spots in Group D. We'll take a look at the preview of their games this week, and then we look at the fixtures. Okay, so we are seeing the fixtures there. Benfica will be playing Atletico Bilbao as PSV hosts CSKA Moscow. Wolfsburg, fresh from a win in the Bundesliga, will be playing Man United. PSG will be hosting Shakhtar Donetsk. Manchester City, who are not having a great time in the Premier League, will be playing Borussia Mönchengladbach, who have just beaten Bayern Munich in the Bundesliga. Real Madrid, with all their problems from the Copa del Rey last week, will be playing Malmo, and Galatasaray will be playing Astana in Turkey. Sevilla in Spain against Juventus, and all these tomorrow will be seeing the light of day. Meanwhile, in the Barclays Premier League, we are having some action. This weekend we saw a lot of interesting games where Arsenal won, Chelsea lost, and we also saw that Manchester United drew. We are having Everton versus Crystal Palace, just 31 minutes gone, and it's 0-0. Everton have been in fantastic form. However, Crystal Palace will seek to stop them in their tracks. We'll get details of that, and you can get the final score on myjoyonline.com. Also, in La Liga, we have Espanyol versus Levante. Levante at halftime are leading by a goal 2-0, and that's the latest in the Monday evening fixtures. Moving over to tennis, and Rafael Nadal has finished 2015 in spectacular fashion, not maybe in a major tennis Grand Slam, however, in what they are calling the IPTL, he has helped his team, the Indian Aces, to beat the UAE Royals 30-18. Now, the Indian Premier Tennis League is sort of a Ghana Premier League or a Barclays Premier League, but for tennis players who are top of the pile in the world, and Rafael Nadal is making inroads there. A lot of Rafael Nadal fans will be hoping this is the spark he needs to come back strong in 2016. Speaking of coming back strong, in the NBA, there's lots happening, but Nelson Mandela was honored by the NBA as a Giant of Africa, and this was ahead of one of the games. We have highlights of those. A Giant of Africa indeed. And speaking of giants, in boxing, the heavyweight division is the biggest, and in the last couple of weeks, we've seen Tyson Fury do a number over Vladimir Klitschko. Next up, another heavyweight championship as Brit Anthony Joshua will be fighting Dillian White. Joshua says he's going to stop Dillian in the third round. Anthony Joshua, the British heavyweight boxing division, is looking the best it's been in many, many years. But for more information on that, go on to myjoyonline.com/sport and follow us on Twitter as well as on Facebook. My name is Gary L. Smith. That's the sport for now. I'll be back tomorrow.